Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. Just a couple things before we get into the reading. Today's video is going to be a fundraiser and there's also a personal reading giveaway, so I want to talk a little bit about that. As I think many of you guys know, for the past few months we have been fundraising for Faris, who is a 17-year-old boy in Gaza with his family of 7. I was matched with them through the mutual aid initiative Project Love Brocade. I will have their social media link down below if you'd like to know more about the work that they're doing. Thanks to you guys, we have been able to raise over $22,000 for Faris and his family, which is almost a quarter of their goal. I'm really hoping that we can get to that 25,000 mark soon. So for today's fundraiser, we have our monthly predictions as usual, where we do the general overview of the month and then look at the specific areas of love life, career, and spiritual and personal growth. But then there's also going to be an optional extended reading where there will be messages for each of the 12 zodiac signs. So if you'd like a little bit more of a personalized reading, or if you just want to support the fundraiser, that's going to be linked down below. I would recommend that you watch the reading for your sun, moon, and rising signs to get the full picture. But of course, you can watch for any of your placements or any sign that you feel called to. So that is one way that you can participate in the fundraiser. I will also have Faris's GoFundMe link down below if you would like to support directly. That is also an option. And so for the personal reading giveaway, I will be giving away a 30-minute personal video reading. We actually just finished one. I announced the winners today. Maybe I'll put them up here. This giveaway is going to run from today, Friday, November 1st to next Friday, November 8th. So it's a 1-week period. During this period, if you have supported the fundraiser in any way, whether that is through the extended reading of today's video or through donating directly to the GoFundMe, all you'll need to do is send proof of that. It can literally just be a screenshot to kinopersonalreadings@gmail.com. There's no minimum donation or anything like that, just any way that you have supported the fundraiser, and you'll be able to enter. I will announce the winner of the giveaway on November 8th on YouTube as well as Instagram. Your donations have helped immensely to cover daily expenses for Faris and his family, which are ridiculously expensive. They've been able to purchase daily necessities like food and hygiene products, milk for Faris's baby brother, medical costs, as well as costs related to displacement, which has unfortunately happened to them once. Unfortunately, there's no way for them to leave Gaza right now, but the hope is that when the border opens, they will have enough funds to evacuate, which is also very, very expensive. So I just want to thank all of you for your support and for giving a bit of hope to this family. And thank you for giving me this platform that I can use to spread awareness for them. I'm sending you guys so much love. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for all your kind words and support. I know that it means a lot to Faris, and it's really heartwarming for me to see as well. So thank you so much. I love you guys, and let's get on to the reading. Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today's pick a card reading is going to be messages and predictions for your month of November 2024. We are going to start off with a general overview of your month where we look at the main themes, the main energies, and the main events that will be coming your way. And then we are going to dive into the specific areas of your life. So we're going to be getting predictions for your love life and relationships, your career and studies, and your spiritual and personal growth. There are 3 readings to choose from today, and today to choose your group, there is a different painting as well as a different crystal. I got these when I was visiting Newfoundland, which is in the east coast of Canada. I saw these in a shop and I just thought they were so pretty, and immediately I thought that I had to use them in a reading. So I'm going to show you each of these options up close one by one, and please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. Here's the image for my number ones. This is called House by the Sea, and it's paired with Citrine. Here is the image for my number 2s. It's called Island with Goldenrod, and it's paired with Fluorite. And here is the image for my number 3s. It's called Tangled Weeds, and it's paired with Amethyst. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi, number 1s. So if you guys chose the Citrine and the, what was this one called? House by the Sea. Well, yes, it is House by the Sea. This is going to be your reading all about your month of November 2024. A couple of intuitive messages that are coming through just before we get into the cards. There is something that I'm hearing, this is important, and it's about meeting someone in the middle or choosing the middle option, or it could be choosing the medium option. Opting for staying in the middle, or like staying at a medium of something, a medium level of something. That was coming through. And then there was also a message about getting out of a rut. So this could be getting out of a creative block or getting out of an energy of indecision or getting out of a stuck energy. And the way you're getting out of this is through talking. So if you are struggling with a creative rut or you're stuck on making a decision, do not keep this to yourself, because you are going to find the clarity you need through talking. So it could be through and it kind of feels like a sudden epiphany. It doesn't even necessarily feel like you are earnestly searching for the answer and going to someone for advice. It just kind of feels like an everyday conversation that you're having, and something that is said just makes that light bulb go off, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's what I have to do, or like, oh my gosh, that's the spark I was looking for. And if you can't talk to someone else, talk to yourself. I do that all the time. Like I'll come up with these epiphanies when I'm just kind of idly talking to myself, but it's through speech. It's through things being spoken that you will get out of this rut. Yes. Okay. So let's get into your cards now. We are going to start off with the general overview of your month, where we look at the main themes, the main energies, and the main events that will be unfolding this month. So to start, we have the 2 of Wands, and in this deck, oh my gosh, 222 as I'm holding up this card. So we have a 2 card and 222, and we also have the keyword of unity. So this definitely seems like it's talking about joining up with someone, a partnership. It could quite literally be 2 people, so you and another person coming together. It could be you and a group, or like your group and someone else's group, but there's definitely 2 parties or 2 forces that are merging together, and they are mutually aiding each other's interests and each other's individual journeys. And the way I'm being shown this merging is that it's not really like 2 parties are coming together and working on the same goal. It's that they each have their own respective goals and their own respective interests. But then when they join, it's just like a part of them that is joining. It helps them on their own individual journeys. And I'm hearing there's nothing that has to be sacrificed to come into this union. There's nothing that has to be compromised. Each party can keep going exactly how they want to, but now they're just gaining strength from each other. So this could be something that's happening at work, like your company teams up with another company, or a creative collaboration where both parties can really stay true to their creative vision. It could even be something that is happening in your personal life, but this is also a merging or a union that is really going to bring out the best in you and help you to recognize what your strengths truly are. You could be realizing just how knowledgeable you are on something, or just how good you are at something, because you are put into a position where you are explaining it or teaching it to someone else. And when you realize that you're able to answer all of their questions and you're able to demonstrate how it's done in a very competent way, you're like, man, I'm actually very good at this. Like, I think you're realizing that you're more advanced, you're more of an expert, I want to say. You're more of an expert, you're more professional, more of an authority on a certain subject than you had previously thought. This is also a great energy for thinking about the future and getting excited about it. You may have multiple different opportunities that are appearing, making themselves known. I don't know what word I'm trying to use, but anyway, multiple different opportunities being presented to you. And it's this feeling of having options that makes you feel very abundant and makes you feel very excited. And having multiple opportunities presented to you is going to bring you a sense of security, because it's like, even if one of these doesn't go well, I know that I have all of these other ones lined up. And so, you know, something is going to work out. And I think that that's the universe's promise to you this month, is that something is bound to work out. Something is bound to come of this, come of whatever you're putting efforts into right now. From the Creative's Compass deck, we have creative chords, unfulfilled desires, people you admire, what you think you should do. Like your hair, some things need a regular trim. So now I'm kind of thinking about that. Okay, 555, as I'm holding up this card, which is the number of significant change. Now I'm thinking about that initial message that came through about getting some epiphany that will help you come out of a rut, or that will help you make a decision. And the decision that you're coming to might actually be to cut some kind of cord. It might be to say no to something. Like your hair, some things need a regular trim. This may be a message from your spiritual team. You know, we all go through periods of letting go of things that don't serve us anymore, decluttering our lives. And perhaps your spiritual team is suggesting that you do this a bit more frequently. I don't know if that's a message for November specifically, or just in general. I think it's just in general to declutter more often, or to trim things out of your life more often. Chords could also be a play on words. I'm thinking about musical chords, or maybe you're using a device that has a lot of cords or cables connected to it. Okay, so I forgot to say this, but oh my gosh, that's so funny. So we're getting into the astrological energies now. And just as I flipped over the first astrological card, the camera timer was at 7:19, which is my own birth time. So something about like looking into your birth time, or finding out the birth time of someone you're interested in, always very exciting when that happens. Like when you meet someone new and you ask their birth time and then they actually tell you, or like they ask their mom. That's my love language. But anyway, you could also be seeing your own birth time as a sort of confirmation, as a sort of angel number. Okay, so the card, 8th house with endings and beginnings. So there's a message about endings again, like cutting a cord and ending. But I think this is definitely something that you are deciding. It's not an ending that is happening to you. It's you having a realization of like, oh, this is not really, I'm hearing this is weighing me down. It's like, and I actually am thinking about hair, because you could have really beautiful hair, but if the bottom few inches are dead, it kind of kills the whole vibe. It kind of ruins the whole look. And I'm not a hair expert, but I think when you have split ends and you don't cut them off, it risks like traveling up the hair, the splitness of it. Somebody who knows more about hair can correct me or elaborate on that. But if there's some funky energy in your life and you're not cutting it out, it could kind of trickle into other areas of your life. For some reason, I'm thinking of, and maybe this is just an example, but this could be literally what's happening for some of you. I'm thinking of a person who has kind of an energy vampire in their life. And at first they're thinking that they can put that to the side, but then maybe they notice that they're so stressed about this relationship that they're not focusing at work, or they're not focusing at school, or they're neglecting their own self-care. So it's that energy trickling into other parts of their life, and then kind of realizing that I cannot keep holding on to this. And the 8th house It can talk about intimacy. It can talk about joint ventures, joint assets. And there's something or someone that you've really been fused with, and you're realizing that that's not healthy. And so there's an ending to an unhealthy dynamic in your life, and there's a new partnership starting that is very healthy, because you are joined together, but you keep doing your own things. You're not completely fused together. That's how it's coming through. So maybe there was like an unhealthy level of dependence on each other, or maybe it was a one-way dependency, or just putting too much of your lives together, or putting too much of your assets together. And that dynamic is something that is coming to an end. There could also be a contract that is ending, and that's in your favor. It feels like you're free from it, or a certain period is over and now you're in the clear with something. We also have Aries energy. So the Two of Wands, this is also Aries energy. So if you have Aries placements, those could be really shining this month. 1111 as I'm saying that, which that's funny because this card is number 1 and then these wands kind of look like an 11. And there's a lot of repeating numbers coming through for this group. Yeah, so your Aries placements could be shining, or someone with Aries placements could be playing a significant role. Scorpio as well, because the 8th house relates to Scorpio, and there's also Mars energy in this card, and Mars is the planet that relates to Aries and Scorpio. The first 3-ish weeks of November is also going to be Scorpio season. The 23rd, I'm just reading these digits backwards, obviously, but the 23rd of the month could be a significant time. A Virgo rising, because I'm thinking of Aries 8th house, that would be a Virgo rising. Virgo risings could be significant as well. Mars in Virgo, Mars in Scorpio, Mars in Aries. But I think this is going to be a month where you really feel like you are claiming or reclaiming your personal power, and you know that you're on the right path when you don't second guess. When you just get that gut feeling and you feel like, yes, let's do it, and you start immediately acting on it, that's how you know you're on the right path. If you suddenly get ideas popping into your head and you don't even know where it came from, I feel like that's a strong sign that you should just go for it. And I'm actually hearing that when an idea comes to you that you should act on, or when an idea comes to you that will put you on the right path, you won't even have time to question if it's the right thing, because you'll already be doing it because you're just so excited. Let me see when the moon is going to be in Aries, because I also think those could be important dates for you. It might take a minute for me to find it, but okay, here we go. So the moon is going to be in Aries from the 12th to the 14th, roughly. Yeah. The dates could be a bit different if you're in the Western Hemisphere. Actually, it will probably be the same. But anyway, 12th to the 14th of the month and also the 23rd are coming up as important dates. So for the last part of your general overview, we're going to look at these tea leaf cards to see anything else you should look out for, or any other messages from your spirit guides. We have ear with good news. I'm thinking back to those chords, the musical chords. This could be a message for some of you to look out for messages in music. Like the lyrics of a song could really speak to you, or you could be making music and your spiritual team wants you to know that you have a really good ear. Some of you could be selecting or curating music for something as well. Like for example, maybe you are making vlogs and you are selecting the music to put in the background, or maybe you have a shop, or maybe you have a clinic. I don't know why that's coming through, but you know, you want to play some some music in the waiting room to put your guests in a certain mood, or maybe you are planning a wedding and you're thinking of what songs to play at your wedding, and your spiritual team wants to confirm to you that you are making a good choice because you have a good ear, you have a good sense for what sounds good or what sounds match a vibe. You could be a gifted clairaudient as well. You could be good at learning languages too, because when you have a good ear, you can mimic accents or mimic pronunciation well. We have dog, close up, pleasure with a close friend. And we have wedge. Someone is trying to come between you and oh, wow. So we have a message of pleasure with a close friend. And then we have someone is trying to come between you and a friend or something you want. So this is kind of a specific message. I think you'll know if it's for you. It may not be for everybody, but this definitely gives the vibe of someone who is jealous of your friendships. So it could be that you have a friend in your life who is jealous when you hang out with other friends, or who is jealous when they think like you might be closer, like you're closer with that friend than me, and then they're jealous of that. It could even be like a partner, a significant other, a love interest, which honestly, if that's the case, that is probably not a relationship that will or should last long. This could even be confirmation about someone you recently cut out of your life. And this is like a confirmation that you did the right thing, because when someone truly loves you, they're gonna be happy to know that you are well loved by others and that you're surrounded by a lot of good friends and you're having a good time with your loved ones. So it's just, maybe this is that funky energy that we were talking about before. Yeah. Again, that's just confirmation for those of you who were suspecting someone like that in your life. So yeah, if that resonates with you, that's confirmation. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the specific areas of your life. So I have one tarot card and one oracle card each for your love life and relationships, your career and studies, and your spiritual and personal growth. So let's start off with your love life and relationships. For your tarot card, we have the Hierophant. For your oracle card, we have When You Least Expect, and I am noticing the 4-leaf clover. So good news, yeah, good news or good luck coming into your love life or into your social life when you least expect it. The Hierophant, it's interesting that we got that message about you teaching someone something, because the Hierophant can talk about teaching and learning, especially from someone who has authority on a subject. So there may be a student-teacher relationship or a mentor-mentee, trainer-trainee relationship that is very significant this month. And it does kind of feel like you are mutually learning from each other. Maybe technically one of you is in the mentor role and one of you is in the mentee role, but the way it's coming through is that this teacher, like the person who has the title or the role of teacher, is learning from the student just as much. It's a mutually beneficial relationship. You may even be doing an exchange with someone where rather than paying each other, it's like, I'll teach you this if you teach me that in exchange. So you're both like-minded people who are interested in your personal growth, and this is a way that you can help each other. In general, I feel that you're definitely going to be surrounded with people this month who are very interested in their own personal growth, and I'm hearing holding themselves accountable to being the best version of themselves they can be, and who are also very interested in and supportive of your journey to becoming your best version. So just very uplifting people, very reliable people, again, like-minded people who have similar interests or similar personality traits, people who challenge you but in a gentle way, and people who are very secure. This is a type of people who will be around you. For those of you who are single and looking to manifest a new love interest, a new relationship, this is the type of person whom you will be attracting, which is wonderful. Beavers are hardworking, and symbolically, they often talk about someone who is a provider and who is like family oriented, or just someone I feel who is very loyal and reliable and trustworthy and responsible and accountable and all of that good stuff. Someone who makes you feel really safe and grounded, someone who can be like a rock and a wonderful supporter for you. So this is definitely the type of person you are attracting into your life. You may know someone or have your eye on someone who fits this description, and they could be reaching out to you with some good news, or, you know, something you've really wanted to hear from them when you least expect it. Someone close to you could be letting you know that they got time off and that they can see you, or that they'll be able to attend something because they were able to get time off. That's a specific message that is coming through. So like maybe your spouse lets you know that they were able to get that time off work so you can go on your vacation together, you can go on a trip together. Or wedding is coming through again. Are some of you planning a wedding? Because this could also be like your best friend was able to get time off and they can come in from another country or something and come to your wedding. But anyway, I think things are going really well in your relationships and in your social life. It seems like only good news. So that challenging or draining or funky energy that we saw in the beginning of the reading is probably already something that's on its way out, or it already has been removed from your life. And so now you're just receiving that confirmation that this was the right thing to do and that you have successfully created space for that better energy to come in. Beautiful. Someone in your family could also be being blessed financially, and that will benefit you and your whole family. Or some expenses that your family had could be cleared or taken care of. And so you're not, like, you could have been preparing to take a financial hit and that's not going to happen anymore. Yeah, that's also something coming through. I'm also thinking of dental work, because dental work can be freaking expensive, and also beavers have those big teeth. So that just, I don't know, that came to my mind. Okay, so your messages for career and studies. For your tarot card, we have the 7 of Cups, okay. And for your oracle card, we have staying alive. This kind of seems like one of those, actually, I don't know if I want to label it this way, but what did come through was an in-between sort of month. And I kind of feel like a lot of the stuff we talked about in the general overview probably had to do with your career, especially those messages about like coming out of a rut, removing a creative block, getting an epiphany about the decision you want to make. That might have to do with your career. It's interesting too that we have this visual of trickling, because we were talking about some negative energy that was trickling into other areas of your life. So you could have had negative energy trickling into your career from somewhere else, or if you were struggling with your career, that could have been trickling into other areas. But yeah, I feel like you really have been going through some confusion or indecision with regards to the direction of your career, or a feeling of overwhelm. I'm getting the sense of someone being overwhelmed with tasks or responsibilities or stress, and then coming to this point where they're like, why am I even doing this? Like, why am I even putting myself through this? And maybe starting to question things. And staying alive really just feels like pushing through. I mean, for some of you, it could be a positive message, like you are maintaining something. So this could be a positive confirmation for some of you that something that was improving is going to stay like that and it's not going to crash down. You know, like so something that is sustainable. It's not going to be a one-hit wonder. It's not going to be an easy come, easy go. It's going to stay alive. That could be a good message for some of you. So please feel free to take it in that way. But this kind of feels like like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is all confusing, or this is all kind of overwhelming, but I'm pushing through. Yeah, this card, the Seven of Cups, it's Venus and Scorpio energy. And so I just want to check if Venus is going to be in Scorpio in this month. I'm not too worried about this energy persisting though, because we do have that message of you receiving clarity. It could be one of those things where you got clarity about what you want to do. Okay, yeah, let's say, for example, you come to the epiphany that you want to leave your job. This is just a hypothetical example. And so you put in notice and you're going to quit at the end of the year. Like on December 31st, that marks the end. So it's like, now I just have to stay alive until the end of the year. Like now I just have to push through until this is over. So it could be that you're getting that clarity and you're taking the necessary action to make it official that there's going to be this ending, but now you have to wait for that to become effective, if that makes sense. Because it's this staying alive and this Seven of Cups really makes me feel like we are not quite out of the woods. Okay, let's see. What is Venus doing? Oh, actually, she is not in Scorpio anymore. She was in Scorpio in October though. So, and in September too. So maybe for some of you, this is an energy that has been going on since September or October, or maybe even longer than that, honestly. But we're finding the way out for sure. And now we just have to like push through. And it's so much easier to push through when the end is in sight, you know? Okay, so finally we have your messages for spiritual and personal growth. For your tarot card, we have the Three of Cups, which is literally this, like pleasure with a close friend or multiple close friends. There's a feeling of celebration. You could be celebrating some good news with friends. And I think your spiritual and personal growth is going to feel very uplifting this month. And it's just this realization, oh, this is actually very touching. It's this realization and embracing of the truth that I am surrounded by people, and there are so many people out there whom I haven't even met yet who are rooting for my success, who want to see me thrive, who celebrate my growth and my achievements. And I readily accept their praises and their support and their joy for me. I readily accept that. I welcome that into my life. And we have rest. So there could be, okay, I think this is also the realization that relationships can feel easy. Some of you, okay, this is maybe specific for some of you, but some of you maybe just thought that social interactions are draining for you. But then when you're with the right people, you actually realize that being around them is very peaceful, and in some cases could even recharge your battery, or at the very least your social battery lasts much longer. So there could be this realization of you enjoy being around people more than you thought, or yeah, like, or people want you around. It's accepting that truth, because it is the truth. There's people who want me around. There's people who want to support me. There's people who want to help me. There's people who are happy to see me succeed and who are rooting for me. And so I think this rest in the context of this reading is kind of translating to ease and a feeling of not needing to prove to yourself or prove to anyone that you are worthy of love and support, because there's people who are already like readily willing to give it to you. There may have been, the word that is coming to my mind is traumatized, honestly, a traumatized part of you that thought that fighting for someone's love and recognition, or like fighting to prove that you're worthy of it, was just a normal part of building a bond with someone, a normal part of getting close to someone. That's just what you have to do. And so to have these friends around you or these peers around you who just readily accept you with open arms and support you and who rally to help you, I think you're really going to feel this sense of a warm and loving community and support system, and realize that can be easy, and just really feeling an immense sense of belonging. And I think this realization kind of comes with friends or peers coming together to help you or celebrating something that you have achieved. This could also just be like another interpretation of this. It's not one or the other. Sorry, I said that weirdly. It's not one or the other. Another interpretation of this is literally you are allowing yourself more time for rest and play, because the Three of Cups is quite a lighthearted and playful energy. So that could be another way to interpret this, which doesn't really require a deep dive. It's just allowing yourself to rest and play more. So yeah. I think that those are all of the messages for, those are all the messages for my group number ones. There we go. Oh, also, I just realized, because we've been talking about Scorpio energy quite a bit, like with the 8th house, with Mars, with the 7 of Cups. I'm pretty sure Citrine is linked to Scorpio too. But yeah, you might have Scorpio placements that are shining this month as well. It looks so pretty in the light. And this is a great stone for abundance, for success in business. It's energizing. We love it. Okay, so group number ones, thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoyed my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of exclusive pick a card readings, just like the ones we do on my channel. And you can also decide on topics for future readings. We have over 100 readings there now, so there's lots to check out. And I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to your higher self, to anyone who appeared in this reading, to their higher self, and to your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number twos. So if you guys chose the Fluorite and the Island with Goldenrod image, this is going to be your reading. So there were a couple of images that popped up in my mind's eye before filming your group. So I just wanted to mention those before we get into your cards. The first one was actually of somebody at an all-you-can-eat buffet, which I think is symbolic for most of you, but there's a message there about taking all that you need without limiting yourself. And I'm hearing like, don't be shy. Don't be shy to ask for what you need, or to ask for as much as you need, or to take as much as you need. So this could be about, I think it has to do with nourishment, with nourishing yourself. It could be about giving yourself as much rest or as much breaks as you need, or if somebody offers you help, to not be shy or to not feel bad and like ask for less than what you really need, to just be honest about, this is how much help I need, this is how much resources I need, and just to not deprive yourself. I think that really is the main message of that buffet visual that I got. And then there was also an image of smooth sailing that came through. So anything you are planning this month is going to be smooth sailing. And this message applies to both little everyday things as well as bigger projects or bigger journeys that you are planning. Things will be going smoothly. Yes, so let's get into your cards now. We are starting off with the general overview of your month. So we're going to look at the main themes and the main energies this month and the main events. So we're starting off with the world, and we have the keyword motivation. So I am taking this kind of literally because we were just talking about things going smoothly, and travel, especially international travel, is one of those things where, you know, so many things could go wrong or have hiccups, like your flight could be delayed or canceled, or you could get lost trying to navigate the airport, or you could lose your luggage, or you could get held up at security. Like there's all these things that can go wrong and be stressful. So there might be a quite literal message there for some of you that if you are traveling this month, or if you're making travel plans, things should be going smoothly. Or if something is being shipped internationally, or if you're doing business internationally, or have any sort of back and forth with someone who is far away, and there's like a time difference and logistics of stuff, like all of that stuff should be going smoothly. Yes. I think that there's a big goal that you are working on that is important. Not just important to you, but it's objectively important. The universe is saying this is important. And this month you are going to be receiving some really positive reinforcement that lets you know you're on the right path. And this is in the form of recognition. I just see someone who is working really, really hard towards a goal, and maybe they've started to get tired or kind of lose hope, but then they receive this recognition that completely lights them up and helps them to keep pushing forward. And the more I sit with this energy, it does feel like receiving words of encouragement or receiving acknowledgement from a specific person, like someone you would really want to hear that from. It could even be like a public figure or someone you really look up to. I'm just imagining like someone you really look up to commenting on your post or commenting on your work and being like, this is awesome, keep going. Or like getting to meet someone you really admire and they tell you personally to your face, like, you're doing a good job, keep it up, you know? Imagine how much that would motivate you. If you think of like your idol or someone you want to be like someday, personally telling you, keep going, like this is amazing, good work. That means so much, right? It's something like that. It could also be someone in your life who is, I'm hearing notoriously, okay? Someone in your life who is notoriously hard to impress or hard to please. And so it's like, if they're saying you're doing a good job, then that means a lot because they don't just throw that around lightly. I'm kind of thinking of American Idol right now, like the older seasons when it was Paula and Randy and Simon, because I feel like Paula was so nice to everybody and she said everybody was amazing. And Simon was the one who was really hard to please. The judges, I should say, the judges of American Idol. So like if Simon said you were good, that was like, damn. At least that was how it felt. So it's the specific person you're getting that recognition from where you're like, oh my God, like that actually means a lot because I know that they're not just saying that to flatter me. I know that it's not every day this person is impressed, or I just really love this person. So when I hear it from them, it means a lot. There's something like that that's happening. There could be a full circle moment. The world makes me think of that. A full circle moment where you realize how far you have come. For example, maybe once you were a contestant on American Idol and now you're the judge. It's like you've come so far in your career and you're back where you started, but this time you're in a different role, you know, or you remember when you were the newcomer at your work and now you're the one who's training people. It's something like that where you're realizing how you have leveled up, or realizing how you have graduated and moved on to bigger things. Looking back, I remember when I was just starting, or I remember when I was in this very different role, and like, look at where I am now. You're gonna kind of have that realization this month of just how significant your growth has been. We also have creative marination, although my brain first read this as marathon. So marathon could be significant to some of you. That could be symbolic for a very long journey that you've been on. The buildup is hard sometimes. Find something to do, but don't cut yourself off completely. Again, this is making me think of a big goal that you have, and maybe part of this big goal coming to fruition just has to do with waiting. And this card says definitely keep yourself occupied and focus on other areas of your life so that you're not like obsessively. We had a message like this a while ago in the monthly predictions where it was like, it was coming through so strongly to not be obsessively checking on something, because you're just gonna like make yourself crazy, and to trust that it's in the universe's hands and everything's gonna be okay. I don't know if some of you happen to have watched that group, but it's the same energy coming back again. So some of you could have a goal that is by nature not really in your control, or you've already done everything that is in your control and now you're just waiting. And this card says that yes, it is good to keep yourself busy so that you don't think about it so much. It's good to focus on other areas of your life, but don't cut yourself off completely. I feel like that would be inauthentic, and that would honestly just be more frustrating than anything, because it's kind of like you're lying to yourself and then these emotions are building up. So like, it's okay to still think about it. It's okay to have hope, but there needs to be a balance so that you don't go crazy. I think that that's the message. So from your astrological cards, we have Void of Course Moon with Missing. And we have Cancer. That's funny because my partner has a Void of Course Moon in Cancer in his birth chart. So a Void of Course Moon, when it comes to astrology, it generally indicates something that doesn't really bear fruit, that nothing really comes of it. But with Cancer here, I feel like this is something that's going to protect you. Nothing is going to come of a situation, and that means you are safe. So for some of you, this is talking about a negative outcome, or a negative outcome that you're worried about happening, but like nothing's going to come of this situation. I don't know why this is the example that's coming to my mind, but I just thought of like someone accidentally sending a message to the wrong person and they're freaking out, but then that message like goes into their spam folder or something, or like the message fails to send in the first place. It's like you hit send and you're like, oh my god, no, like I sent it to the wrong person, I don't want them to see this, and then it just, the sending fails, or that person just never sees it. So it's like nothing bad is going to happen, nothing is going to come of that situation. Your worries might have a very active imagination where they imagine like the worst possible thing happening, and then it's just like nothing happens. Nobody notices, nobody cares. And that's a good thing, you know? That's a good thing. This could also be a message for some of you about rejection being divine protection. So in the case that it was something you were hoping for, but then nothing came of it, Spirit wants you to know that that is protection. If things had come of this situation, ultimately it would have drained your energy. And the way it's specifically coming through is that it would have made you weaker. It would have taken from your strength. So if something's not coming through for you, it means you're actually stronger without it. You're more powerful without it. I'm just looking at this Cancer crab with their big buff crab arms. And I feel like this is you with your immense strength. And there was something that maybe you hoped you would receive, or an opportunity that you hoped would come through, but it would actually just steal from your strength. It would actually maybe be something that just like leeches off of you, is kind of how it's coming through. Let me see. When is the moon going to be in Cancer? Probably around the 20th. We have the number 21 here, 52. The 21st to the 25th could be significant times. Yeah, I think it's around there, because I was just looking at the app for group 1. Yeah. Okay, so for the last part of your general overview, we're going to look at some tea leaf cards to see what else you should look out for this month, or any other messages from your spirit guides. We have younger woman, dealings or relationship with a younger woman. We have Tower, solid foundation, success with effort. That's definitely you. And then we have Tree, affairs with your family. Both of these cards make me think of a solid foundation, because the tree also has roots that are firmly grounded so that it can grow nice and tall. And also the tower needs a solid foundation so that it can be built tall. And this also gives a feeling of a big goal, or something that you've been working on for a very long time, and it's finally coming to fruition. Anything that you lose during this time, or anything that doesn't come through for you, it's actually to protect the larger goal of yours. And anything you're worried about that would come in the way, it's not going to happen. I feel like a lot of you have this negative outcome that you're very worried about it happening, and it's going to be okay. You need to know that it's going to be okay. This is very specific, but there could be a younger Cancer woman in your life who is playing a significant role, or maybe you are the younger Cancer woman, the person you receive this recognition from that helps you to keep going. Could be a Cancer, or could be a younger woman, or the opportunity that doesn't come through could involve her. Yeah, maybe you know who this younger woman is, but a younger woman is coming through. Maybe she's a family member. We have affairs with your family. Okay, we're gonna get into the specific areas of your life now. So I have one tarot card and one oracle card each for your love life and relationships, your career and studies, and your spiritual and personal growth. So starting with your love life, for your tarot card, we have the 7 of Swords. For your oracle card, we have what are you waiting for? Okay, there is someone who is holding back because they are doubting the situation, or they are doubting their intuition. I noticed that when I flipped over the cards, I said, let's start with your love life, even though it's supposed to be love life and all of your relationships as a whole. And I intended to correct myself after I put these cards down, like just reminding that these messages can be about any of your relationships as a whole. But maybe that slip was meant to happen, in the sense that this is something that is unfolding in your love life. So you or a love interest it seems that they are holding back because they have some doubts. Maybe they have self-doubt, or they have doubts about the future of the connection, if it's really gonna last, or they're just having a hard time believing what their intuition says because maybe they feel like it's wishful thinking. I am getting the feeling, a kind of cynical energy. I don't know if that's the right word. Maybe. A kind of cynical energy when it comes to love and relationships. Like someone is kind of like, oh, I'm so sick of this like fairy tale love, and maybe having a hard time believing that that kind of love is out there. Maybe this is someone who's been hurt or disappointed a lot in the past. And so even when there is a new spark presenting themselves, they're kind of apprehensive about moving forward, or they just completely shut it down. And again, I don't know if this is your energy or the other person. Maybe it's a little bit of both. The Seven of Swords can also talk about not really seeing the situation accurately and not really having the full picture or the full truth of a situation. So somebody could be making assumptions about the other party's true feelings and intentions that are just not true, and it's actually making them see the connection in a lesser light. So an example of this would be if you're making assumptions that, oh, that person is a player, that person is not serious about me, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. Like they're actually looking for something very committed, but you would never know that if you're already making these assumptions about them, because you're not even going to give them a chance to show you their truth. So you may be making assumptions about someone in your life, especially in your love life, that are painting them in not a worse light, but in a less aligned light than what is actually true and what is actually best for the connection. Or somebody could be making those kind of assumptions about you. And so I think this "what are you waiting for" is could be talking about clearing the air, speaking your truth, making a move towards someone, because the more silence there is, the more it will breed misunderstandings and false assumptions, the more it will breed this kind of cynical outlook on the connection or on love and relationships in general. Speaking out and sharing your truth will actually dissolve a lot of the worries and the misconceptions that were hurting the connection. This could also be a friendship situation where both, like, the friends are assuming that the other person is mad at them, and then they're both just not talking to each other. And it's like, wait, I'm not mad at you. I thought you were mad at me. What? No, why would I be mad at you? I thought you were mad, And it's like the silence is just furthering that confusion. I feel like it's kind of mutual. I feel like both parties are kind of misunderstanding or making assumptions that cause them to not reach out, but the not reaching out is just making it worse, kind of thing. I hope that makes sense. So we need to just make the move and be open. Yeah. Okay, so for your career and studies, 1919, as I'm holding up these cards, which is lovely. That's the number of the sun. We have the Five of Wands. Okay, already that sun message combined with this Five of Wands, there's a feeling of victory. There's a feeling of winning against competition. It's funny that I used American Idol as an example before, because that is a competition. So you're winning something. Group number 2, you're winning something. You're being selected for something. You are being singled out in a good way for your exceptional talents or your outstanding performance. You're being given a stage, either literally or metaphorically. You're being given a stage. That sun energy could talk about you're being featured, you're being highlighted. There is a spotlight being put on you. Someone could be writing a piece about you. Someone could be interviewing you. You're gaining that recognition. There's that recognition again for your talents. And we have, it's all for a reason. That's that. Okay. I'm just thinking the full circle moment, the things that fell through, and then finally your victory and the message of it's all for a reason. So you are finally reaching a victory in your career or in your studies. It feels like a full circle moment in some way. It could even be like, I'm thinking of an athlete who won gold in the Olympics and it happens to be in their home country or in their hometown. So that's like full circle for them because they've probably been all over the world competing, but then when it's really their time to shine, they come back to their hometown. Or someone like coming back to the industry where they first got their first chance or their first break kind of thing. A big victory, you're coming full circle and you're realizing that all of the things that didn't work out or all of the things that fell through in the past happened for a reason, because this point in time space was already being set aside for your big victory. And it had to happen in this place, in this time, in this way to be the most meaningful for you and for the collective. But there's definitely something about you standing out from the competition. And if you still had any doubts whether this was the path you were meant to be on, all of those doubts are getting blown away. If you were struggling with any kind of imposter syndrome or just like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, maybe I should give up, maybe I should try something else, maybe I'm crazy for still trying and for still hoping after all these years, and getting all in your head like that, all of that is going to be blown out of the water with this big victory. This feels very significant. It also feels like a big moment of maturing, and you've earned, there's that expression, earned your stripes, but I'm not really sure what it means, but maybe you know what it means. And then finally, we have your messages for spiritual and personal growth. So for your tarot card, we have the Eight of Swords. That's so funny because we were literally just talking about any remaining self-doubt, and every tarot card in this part has had some message about self-doubt. So I feel like that could be a really big theme this month. Facing your self-doubts, addressing them, I want to say conquering them. Any remaining self-doubt that you had is really being blown away. And this dandelion is making me think of the solar plexus because it's yellow, but actually the first reason it made me think of that is because dandelion tea is good for your liver, and that part of your body is like the solar plexus area. So, and there's even the image that you were drawn to, Goldenrod, and these is that sunflower? There's a smaller flower that kind of looks like this, so I don't know if that's maybe what it is, but just yellow flowers seem to be significant. That could be also a sign of you winning gold, because gold is kind of yellow. or just being very happy at your victory. But yeah, dandelions, sunflowers, daffodils, goldenrods, any kind of yellow flowers I feel like are significant. Maybe someone's celebrating you and they're giving you a bouquet of flowers. And then we also have, it doesn't have to be perfect. What just came through is that you don't heal perfectionism by learning how to be perfect. You heal perfectionism by understanding that it never had to be perfect in the first place. And another example I'm thinking of is someone learning to love or accept the way that they look and to really see themselves as beautiful. You don't reach that place by just continuing to tweak how you look until you're satisfied with it. It doesn't really work that way. You reach it by understanding that you were always fine the way you were. So you're kind of not, this could be an energy of not chasing anymore, and that's part of your spiritual and personal growth. You realize that there's not some goalpost that you have to reach to be healed. You actually, the whole point is to stop chasing the goalpost because you never had to. And maybe for many of you, it does have to do with perfectionism. Maybe you dealt with imposter syndrome because your work or your performance is not perfect. And you were so focused on like, I need to improve my craft and I need to improve my skills so that I can stop feeling like I don't deserve to be here. And obviously I'm not going to knock working on your craft and improving your skills. Like, we all should be doing that, and that's an amazing thing to do. But it's never going to be perfect, and that's okay. And it's okay to release yourself from that pressure. As I'm talking about this, you could really be regaining passion for what you do when you stop being so hard on yourself to do it perfectly. And of course, it depends on what you do. Like, if you're a surgeon, you probably want to be as close to perfect as possible. But for most things, little imperfections make it more human, make it more authentic, make it more relatable, make it more beautiful. Feathers could also be, because you have 2 swords cards with feathers on them. So feathers could also be a sign from your spiritual team, letting you know that you're on the right path and letting you know that you deserve to be here. I think that is everything I need to say about that. But also, this is Jupiter in Gemini, which Jupiter is currently in, and it will be in until, I want to say, June of next year. So, obviously this is a reading for the month of November, but I feel like from now until June of next year, at which point Jupiter will go into Cancer. But anyway, from now until June, I think is going to be a period of immense growth and immense healing and just immense pressures being lifted off of you. It just feels like once you accept that you're not perfect and you never will be, and no one ever will be, and that's very, very fine and okay, and it's actually a beautiful thing, you're gonna start having a lot more fun again. And ironically, you will improve a lot more and you will do a better job. You'll grow and excel more when you throw away the idea of perfect, because a lot of the time that just keeps you frozen. If you're starting off already with such a ridiculously impossible standard, like, you're not going to get very far because it just feels too overwhelming. So yeah, ironically, you'll start doing a lot better when you stop trying to be perfect. Yeah, so group number 2. These are all the messages I have for you, so I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of exclusive pick a card readings, just like the ones we do here on this channel. We have over 100 videos now, so there's lots to check out. And you can also decide on topics for future readings, so I'll have that linked down below. My music channel, which includes the intro song of this video, that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to your higher self, to anyone who appeared in this reading, to their higher self. I almost said to your person, even though that's not what this reading is about, but I'm sending love to your person and to their higher self and to your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number threes. So if you guys chose the Amethyst and the Tangled Weeds image, this is going to be your reading all about your month of November 2024. There is just one intuitive message that was coming through, so I want to share that with you before we get into the cards. I had this visual of bubbles rising from an ocean floor up to the surface, and the way that I interpreted this message is that this month, whatever is important or whatever requires your focus is going to be made known to you, such that you don't really need to be deliberating. You don't need to be actively thinking about what should I make the focus of this month, because whatever is requiring your attention and focus and needs to be a priority is going to show itself very clearly to you. So let's get into your cards. We're going to start off with the general overview part of the reading. Your card had a little bit of rubber band stuck to it. So we are going to see the main themes, the main energies, the main events coming your way this month. Your first card is the Hanged Man with Limbo. And I do want to mention that when I flipped over this card, the camera time was at 1, 2, 3, which makes me think of steadily making progress. So there may be something in your life that your spiritual team wants you to know it is making progress, and they're very proud of you for this. It's just that it may be happening at a rate that is so slow that you don't really see the results from day to day. So they just want you to know so that you don't get discouraged that things are progressing. And that may just be the nature of things, you know. I'm thinking of plants because of this tree in the background. There are some plants that probably most actually, you wouldn't notice their growth day to day. But if you look at them a week later or a month later, then you will notice significant growth. So some of you could be feeling frustrated or confused at a lack of progress, and your spiritual team wants you to know that everything is okay. Like, it may just not be so obvious in the short term, but even if you look back, like if you look back on this journey to where you were a few weeks ago or a few months ago, you will see that there has been progress. So don't let the slowness fool you. I'm thinking of, and maybe I'll bring out this deck, but my stepmom got me this oracle deck called Therapets, and it's really adorable. It's like cards with different animals on it, and they all have these encouraging messages. And there's one card that has a turtle on it, and it says, "Your speed doesn't matter, forward is forward." And that's a message that I really need, because I tend to be impatient with my progress, and then I tend to get hard on myself about it. I think it's my Aries placements. I'm always just like trying to do everything quickly, and I want to see the results right now. And so I often need that reminder for myself. I don't remember if I said this, but I actually keep that card out on my desk a lot so that I can look at it. So that's something that you need to know this month. Something is progressing, but it could be quite slow. Then we have Unfurling, which also makes me think of making progress. Discovery, authenticity, rawness. Vulnerability is a cure for many ills. Interesting. Vulnerability is a cure for many ills. I think that knowing that you're not alone in your struggle could also be something that is very helpful to you. Especially for those of you who are frustrated or you feel like something is wrong with the rate at which you're progressing. I could see how maybe you would keep that to yourself if you feel like something's wrong. Maybe it's an embarrassing thing to talk about, but if you were to open up about it, you would realize that actually your rate of progress is very normal, and where you're at on your journey is very normal. and a lot of other people, if not most other people, are feeling this way. There's something that you're holding in that you're not mentioning. And I think it has to do with a perceived, heavy on the perceived, a perceived shortcoming in yourself or in your journey, in your life in general. And opening up about it is going to be very healing, because you realize that it's not even, like, nothing has gone wrong. And I think that's what's making it so uncomfortable, is this feeling of like, I should be somewhere else, or I should be farther, or my life shouldn't be this way. I feel like that's the greatest cause of the disappointment and the sadness. So from your astrological cards, we have Saturn return with age. This is kind of like the same message repeating over and over again, because Saturn also has this feeling of consistency, discipline, time, patience. 555, as I'm saying that, you need to know this, that you are in the process of creating big changes in your life. And I'm just thinking about, and I do this too, but often we'll make these tarot readings that are like, big changes coming in, big unexpected changes. And I often feel that, like, it feels good. We want to hear these messages about these big breakthroughs coming in. But a lot of meaningful change that we make in our life happens over months and years, but that's not exciting. Like, that's not, you know what I mean? Imagine, like, if you're watching a tarot reading and it's like, yeah, you're building abundance, and it's in 10 years from now, you're gonna have this abundance. Like, I feel like people want it faster. That's how we are as humans, right? We want to hear these messages about big breakthroughs and overnight successes. And a lot of life is not like that. And the vibe of this kind of feels like putting pressure for something to happen quickly, or something to happen in a breakthrough kind of manner, when really we're building it up slowly but surely, day after day after day. And it's really the consistency and the discipline that's going to get you to where you want to go. I think a really easy example of this is when someone appears to be an overnight sensation, like maybe a singer. Suddenly they're everywhere. Suddenly I'm hearing about them all the time, and like their song has 1 billion streams or whatever. And it seems that it happened suddenly, but they've actually been working really hard for years and years behind the scenes or out of the public eye, but you don't see all of that. And so where you're at in your journey is actually, it's a very normal part of the journey. And yes, the hard work could be discouraging sometimes. The hard work that it requires, or the time that it requires, could be discouraging sometimes, but it's just coming through that. I think the biggest source of discouragement is that sense of I'm behind, or I'm not at the point of this journey that I should be, or others aren't struggling like me. There is something wrong with me. And I think your spiritual team just really wants to shut that down. I'm also noticing that all of these cards have green colors in them. This is more of like a bluey green, but these definitely have a green theme to them, which is making me think of the heart space, the heart chakra, and that message of vulnerability and being real about your journey. And I think there's so many who feel the way that you do. And if you felt called to be open and share about your struggles, it could also be very, very healing and very validating for others. It's like this illusion that we're all upholding, and everybody's kind of sick of the illusion, but nobody feels brave enough to be the one to break that illusion and be like, hey, we're all struggling, right? We're all feeling this is BS, right? And maybe, I don't know, maybe you're the one to do that, or maybe someone around you is doing that, and then it makes you feel safe to open up about your struggles. But vulnerability, being real about our struggles, and setting more realistic standards for ourselves so that we're not beating ourselves up all the time, I think are going to be the big themes of November. I'm also noticing we have Saturn here and we have Pisces energy here. Saturn is currently in the sign of Pisces, and if you have Saturn in Pisces, then you would be going through a Saturn return. That's what I have, and it's been a great time. But anyway, let's see what else we have. We also have air. Aquarius energy could be significant too, because Aquarius is an air sign that is ruled by Saturn. So Aquarius and Pisces are coming through. You could have these placements and they're going to be really prominent this month, or somebody who has these placements around you could be significant. And actually, if you have Saturn in Aquarius, then you would have recently gone through your Saturn return. And if that's the case, feel free to leave any advice in the comments, because those of us going through it right now could benefit from that. Okay, anyway, when the moon is in Aquarius and Pisces could also be an important time. That will be roughly, I just checked this for another group. Let me say around from the 8th to the 12th of the month. From the 7th to the 12th, because we have 25 here. And if we reduce that, 2 and 5, that's 7. From the 7th of the 12th to the month will be a significant time. Air is the element that is associated with the heart chakra. So that's even more heart energy. It's also the element associated with communication. So communicating from the heart. Again, I'm such a broken record, but the message is very clear. You could also gain success or gain recognition for sharing your ideas or for sharing your intellectual capabilities, sharing your knowledge, something that you have specialized knowledge in, or just your ability to articulate what's on your mind and what's in your heart in a very powerful or a very beautiful way. That could gain you success and recognition too. So finally, for the last part of your general overview, we're going to look at these tea leaf cards for anything else you should look out for this month, as well as any other messages from your spirit guides. We have Eagle, triumph over troubles and obstacles. Dog far away, a distant friend is thinking of you. And Bell with announcement. Looking at these together, you could be reunited with a friend who is far away, because the eagle made me think of traveling by plane, so you could be flying to see a faraway friend, or they could be coming to see you. Eagle makes me think of Scorpio energy, so someone with Scorpio placements could also be significant. Someone born in the year of the dog, which the first year of the dog that comes to my mind is 1994, which would also put you around this Saturn return age, like you're going through it or you just went through it. So that Saturn return energy is coming through quite strongly. If this isn't you, maybe somebody close to you is going through this and you're seeing how it's affecting them. Maybe you're supporting them through it. But yes, there's some kind of reunion, there we go. Reunion with a friend, reunion with a loved one. It could be a reconciliation as well. If there's someone you've drifted apart from or even had a falling out with and you are desiring that reconciliation, I feel like a distant friend is thinking of you, and triumph over troubles is a really strong sign that you are going to be able to patch things up or to get back together with the person you'd like to get back with, especially with the dog being about loyalty. It's like, even if we did have this falling out or drift apart, my loyalty to you has not changed. The way I feel about you has not changed. I still think about you. I still miss you. Even going back to that vulnerability, maybe somebody is kind of swallowing their pride and saying how much they miss you, or you could be the one doing that for someone else. For those of you who are missing someone and wishing to reconcile or get back with someone, I think this is confirmation that they are feeling the same way. Bell, it says announcement, but it's making me think, in this digital age, it's making me think of a notification bell. So like, you know, when somebody texts you, when somebody calls you, your phone like rings. So you could be getting an unexpected text message or phone call from a distant person who has been thinking about you. And distant, it could be literal physical distance, like they're in a faraway place, or it could be that energetically there has been distance between the two of you. But I think this message is only for you if there's someone you're actually missing, because I don't get the sense that you're going to hear from, for example, an ex-lover or an ex-friend that you're like, ugh, like I don't want you back in my life. I think this message is for those of you who want them back. Yeah. For some of you, it could even be like a job that you applied to a long time ago and it didn't work out, and now they're suddenly reaching out again because they have another opening for you. Something's kind of coming back around, and when it does, it means that that other party had already been thinking about you and thinking about reaching out for a long time. You may also notice somebody lurking on your page this month, and that's someone who is thinking about you a lot. Okay, so let's get into the specific areas of your life now. I have one tarot card and one oracle card each for your love life and relationships, your career and studies, and your spiritual and personal growth. So starting off with your love life and relationships, for your tarot card we have the Wheel of Fortune, which really makes me think this is going to be unexpected, that somebody's unexpectedly reaching out to you, making your phone ring. Somebody could be back in town. The Wheel of Fortune is making me think of what goes around comes around, which is a great song by Justin Timberlake. Hey girl, is he everything you wanted in a man? When I was in like grade 6, I was obsessed with that song and I would sing it on the school bus. I think I've even mentioned that before in a reading. That song is in A, that's the third eye. So, okay, is it really unexpected? Okay, maybe you're surprised that they're reaching out, but intuitively you knew that they were pulling on your energy. Maybe you're kind of surprised at the content of their message. There is an unexpected element to it, but perhaps you did expect that they feel the way they feel, or that you maybe felt their energy hovering around. It could be that you dream about this person and then like the next day or a couple days later they message you. And so it is unexpected in the sense of like, oh my God, my dream was accurate, but you did see it coming because you dreamed about it. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, someone coming back around. This person could have lived through their karma as well with this Saturn. They lived through their karma, they learned some lesson, so they could be coming back to tell you that. You know, I got my karma, I learned my lesson, or letting you know how they've changed, which is true. If someone's coming back to say they've changed, that is true. They're not just saying that. Yeah, literally, you are always shifting. So that's confirmation that somebody has changed. I can't tell you what to do, of course, and I don't want to, but it may... Well, actually, for most of you, you want this person back in your life anyway, so I don't really need to be saying this. But if you were kind of apprehensive, it may be worth just hearing what they have to say, because you would see that they have changed. And so either that's going to give you some closure, that's going to give you some relief to know that they're in a better place now. Or you may, like if you were thinking you didn't want to give them another chance, you may change your mind. Maybe. There's no right answer, obviously. It's very much up to how you feel. But I was going to say something and now I can't remember. But yeah, I do think that for most of you, this is someone you'll be very happy to hear from and that you really do want back in your life. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I think that when they reach out to you, the content of their first message is probably going to be requesting to have a longer talk with you. So for example, someone texting to say, can I call you? Or someone texting to say, can we meet up? Because I want to tell you something. So it seems like their first interaction towards you may not give away so much of what they want to say, but you overall vaguely know probably that they want to reconcile. And you would be right. Yeah. Okay, next we have your messages for career and studies. So for your tarot card, we have the Empress, which is such a beautiful card in general, but to get this in your career and studies, this is a sign of manifesting your desired outcome and abundance. And we love to see abundance in a career reading, and we especially love to see this after all of these messages of, slow progress and being patient. And we use that analogy of plants growing, and it looks like she's watching the plants grow. 2121, as I'm holding this up, which is the world, which is also something coming to full fruition and a significant accomplishment. What I'm also noticing, which is really cool, is that we had the Hanged Man, which is number 12. That's numerologically, that's a 3. The Empress, which is a 3. And that 2121, the world, is also a 3. So your journey of manifesting your desired outcome and your journey of reaching your goal seems to be represented by the number 3. So maybe someone could also be a life path 3, but if you ever see angel numbers containing 1, 2, and 3, like maybe you see 12, 12, maybe you see 121 everywhere, maybe you see 3, 2, 2, or 3, 3, 3 or something, I feel like that pertains to your confirmation that you're manifesting your desired outcome. It's probably mostly things that add up to 3. So 3, a 12, or a 21, but it could be any combination. Didn't I see that at the start of the reading? I saw 1, 2, 3. I did. How did I already forget that? Yeah. Those are your numbers. Somebody's birthday could also be made up of those numbers, like March 11th, January 23rd, February 13, anything with those 1, 2, 3. We also have literally, it's so clear, stop and let it grow around you for a little bit. And that's what she's doing. I was just watching, so Chloe Taylor has a podcast and she posts highlights from it on Instagram. And I was watching one recently, and she was talking about how she has noticed in the moments where she lets herself step back from her work, that's when she really thrives. Like, she doesn't have to always be actively putting efforts and pouring energy into her work in order to see results. The same way you don't, and actually you shouldn't always be watering a flower to make it grow. The flower needs to also not be watered. And there is such a thing as overwatering a plant, which can kill it. That I unfortunately learned that the hard way with my very first plant, and I never made that mistake again. So, pouring energy into something too much or working on something too much, I think sometimes we need that reminder that that's also not a good thing. And part of letting your business grow, or letting your career grow, or letting your studies grow is giving yourself time to step away from it. And that could also be what the Hanged Man is referring to, giving yourself time to just chill. Once you finish lesson 2, you don't have to go straight to lesson 3. Give yourself some in-between time. Give your brain time to really process what you just learned. It's not a constant go, go, go. It's work on it and step away. Work on it and step away. When I'm mixing records. You can't just do it from start to finish because your ear is going to become shit. So you have to like work on it a little bit and then step away from it and come back with fresh ears. So it's like, it's this kind of concept where you got to stop sometimes and recognize that your plants are going to keep growing when you step away from it. They don't need your constant attention. They don't need your constant supervision. And it's actually bad to be giving to them all the time. Studying is a really excellent example of that. It's probably better to get a good night's sleep before the night. It's probably better to get a good night's sleep the night before your exam than it is to try to stay up all night and cram. Because when you're sleeping, your brain's going to be recovering and it's going to be processing and integrating what you have studied. You know, bodybuilding, same thing. You need rest days. Like I think it's a very, a very prominent, that's not the word I'm trying to say, but it's a concept that is everywhere. I forget what the word is. It's a concept that is everywhere, but I think it's hard to practice that because we feel like I'm not doing enough, or we're scared. Like if I step away, it's going to fall apart. You know, sometimes we just need that reminder. And I think that's what the Empress is here for. And I think the Empress is also talking about sustainability and really building that into your definition of abundance. If you are working your butt off every day for wealth, the type of wealth you're going to manifest is one that requires you to work your butt off every day. And does that really feel wealthy? So it's like, start building the routine and the lifestyle that you want to have now, and make sure that it's sustainable for you. And I think there's also, and this kind of goes into like spiritual and personal growth, but I think there's also something about recognizing that your projects and your work and your craft can grow during rest. You can thrive during rest. You can generate wealth during rest. It doesn't have to be hard all the time. So with that being said, let's get into your spiritual and personal growth. For your tarot card, we have the Magician, which is another card about manifestation. Exactly. And I have support. Beautiful. Also just noticed that we have these mountains and eagle, so it feels like moving mountains or overcoming obstacles. When I saw this I have support, I immediately thought of divine support. And that was also something Chloe was talking about. I don't know if you guys who chose this group, if you're also a fan of Chloe Taylor, or maybe this is your sign to check out her videos, but I pretty much agree with everything she says all the time. Like, I love Chloe. I love her philosophy. I love how she combines spirituality and practicality. And it might have even been in the same clip where she was saying like, and I'm probably not wording this exactly right, but she was saying like, I don't care about an algorithm because I believe in my ability to manifest success, and like I don't have to rely on the algorithm. So when I feel like I need to take a rest, I'm going to take a rest. And I know that that's not going to hinder my success or my growth because my ability to manifest trumps that. And that's such a vibe. Like, that's bars. So I think that's what this is talking about, that when you have divine support and when you are tapped into your manifesting power, it trumps all of the arbitrary rules and systems and schedules and algorithms of society. You do not have to be a slave to those things. And I even kind of feel this way with like my exercising, because I exercise twice a week, but like I run only once a week. I do pull only once a week. And a lot of people would say like that's not enough to get better at it. And yet what I see is very much the opposite. So I don't really care what the external narrative is or what the information says when I can see it for myself and I can manifest it for myself. So just make sure, group number 3, make sure you're not letting somebody else make the rules for you about how you can grow and how you can progress and how you can flourish. And the camera is putting a square around this magician right now. It wants to focus on it. You are the one who makes those rules. And I've seen it as well, like people who are really not doing anything to please an algorithm, and yet they're still growing because it doesn't freaking matter. What matters is that their message is resonating with a lot of people, and they're adding value, and they're standing for something. It's their essence, it's their integrity, it's their soul that is always going to trump those arbitrary rules. Make sure you are the one who is making your rules. Make sure it's about you and your spiritual team and your power. Don't be fooled into thinking you have to submit to some external system to be successful. That's your spiritual and personal growth. And sounds cheesy, but trust the process. I think you need to hear that too. Trust the process. Yes, so group number 3s, those are all the messages that I have for you. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of exclusive pick a card readings, just like the ones we do here on this channel. We have over 100 readings on there now, so there's lots to check out. And you can also decide on topics for future readings. So I'll have that link down below. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to your higher self, to anyone who appeared in this reading, to their higher self, and to your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!